Kevin De Leon, you're Senate President of California. Your thoughts on this first call of Bernie Sanders to immediately remove that Donald Trump should immediately remove Steve Bannon, who he's just appointed to be a senior advisor on all issues that you're concerned about?
I think it's a grave concern if you have anyone in the White House who has direct access to the most powerful man in the world, an individual who is perceived to be anti-Semitic, an individual who has used in a very manipulative way social media, digital media, to pit one group against another, to be divisive. This is the most diverse country in the entire world, and we respect the different ethnicities, the different hues, immigrants who come from all over, who want to make something of themselves. And to have someone who would be the chief strategist, the mastermind, if you will, of the ascendancy of Donald J. Trump is of deep concern, and it sends a really negative message throughout the world that you have someone who has a history and a practice of dividing and pitting one group against another. That's not what America's about. That's not what the United States, the American people are all about. And to me, I can tell you, as the youngest child of a single immigrant mother with a third-grade education, it upsets me greatly, because this is not what California's about.
I asked you about Bannon. What about the election of Donald Trump?
You know, I think like a lot of folks, here in Marrakesh, a lot of folks are astonished and stunned. I know back home in California, a lot of folks are just bewildered as to how this could come to fruition. How could this happen? But I can tell you this, that I've never been prouder to be a Californian, because in the margin of over 2-1, Californians rejected the politics that are fueled by misogyny, by racism, by xenophobia, and by hatred. And that's what California sent a message to the rest of the country as well as to the world, is we won't tolerate those types of values in the state of California. So I'm gravely concerned. Obviously, he is the president-elect. He will be the president of the United States of America for the next 4 years. I'm hoping that we can find common ground to help working families throughout the country, not just in California. But obviously, when he appoints someone like Bannon to be his chief strategist in the White House, when he has Kobach, to be the chief strategist for immigration policy, and the first things that come out of his mouth are the deportation of 2 to 3 million so-called, quote-unquote, criminal immigrants, I can tell you this. That number doesn't exist, because we don't have 2 to 3 million criminal immigrants in the United States of America. And quite frankly, it sends the wrong message, because we don't know if it's a pretext to detain, identify, racially profile, and deport anyone who has a broken tail light, a mother who is a nanny or a housekeeper whose only crime is crossing the border looking for a better life. Is she considered a quote-unquote criminal immigrant? And is that a pretext to detain her and to eventually split families up and deport? So far, since the election, the signs that he has sent out have not been positive.
What about the Los Angeles Police Chief, Beck, saying he's not going to participate in this roundup of immigrants? Your thoughts on whether you're the Senate President of California, call for all police chiefs to do the same in California and around the country?
We'll definitely be doing that. I want to give a lot of kudos to Chief Beck, the chief of LAPD, Special Order Number 40 in Los Angeles, LAPD. I met with the governor Monday morning, and we discussed this issue about the human and civil rights of immigrants, their due process rights as well as immigrants, and having the ability to have their word and their say in a court of law, in the federal court of law. We are concerned, and we are going to engage police chiefs throughout the state of California, as well as sheriffs, as well as the California Highway Patrol, too, that we don't want them to be engaging in federal jurisdiction of ICE. We want them to protect, and we want them to serve the constituents of California, irrespective of their legal status. Because the last thing you want to do is you want to send a message of fear in communities, especially in immigrant communities, that they'll no longer trust local police department to report a crime if they witness a crime or if they themselves are a victim of a crime. We don't want to increase crime in our communities throughout California.
So what exactly is Chief Beck calling for now, saying he won't do?
He won't allow the LAPD to collaborate or cooperate with any detention of any immigrants in the city of Los Angeles.
And what about Donald Trump saying he will end federal funding for any sanctuary city like San Francisco?
Well, the definition of a sanctuary city is quite nebulous to begin with. Let's be very clear about that. It's more symbolically powerful in terms of the words sanctuary city. But if you have the most powerful man in the White House using the White House for a political vendetta to punish children punish working families, punish senior citizens, and say, if you don't do X, I'm going to withdraw billions of dollars of federal funding from you, then that seems like it's blackmail. And one thing that my role and responsibility as the president of California, working with the governor, my counterpart, the speaker, Anthony Rendon, is to do everything within my power, our power, to help improve the human condition and to protect all civil rights of all individuals, irrespective of who they are and where they come from. And we tend to do that in California.
Do you think California should become a sanctuary state?
Well, as I say, that's a very nebulous definition, but I can say this. In California, we recognize and we respect immigrants for who they are, the contributions that they have made to California. We are the 5th largest economy, not in the nation. We're the 5th largest economy in the entire world. And I thank the immigrant community that has helped build the economy in the state of California. We provide tuition for dreamers in our University of California, as well as CSU system. We provide health care, preventive health care for undocumented children, 170,000. We have provided driver's license so they can be licensed as well as insured. So we've really opened up, the state of California. But ultimately, it is the Congress, the Senate, as well as the House, and the President of the United States to deal with this issue and to deal with the comprehensive immigration reform package that will allow these individuals to finally be legalized and finally allow them to really be part of the social fabric of who we are as a nation.
I want